All right.
Have the timer also.
Let's do 5 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
Sure. Sure.
Okay. Here's your timer. Go.
Okay, well, it's been an interesting trip off to the other side. And so here I am in the spirit world. And I have to say, it's very different and it's very pleasing. Um, it's what's funny is that like some of the things in my ego were kind of along for a little while. Like some of my thoughts were racing when I got here. Like there were interesting things like, am I going to miss things like coffee or trees or touch or those things? So those are like thoughts that just flashed before me, but I can think now in like terms that are like 3D. I can think and feel and visualize in 3D, and time and space are relevant to me. So all of those things that I felt like I really desired from that realm were just a little bit afoot in addiction. Even touch and love and money, and the things that I enjoyed like coffee and a walk in the woods. Sometimes they were a little bit of a foot in it, and it's like an addictive feeling. And that I'm now in a place where everything is joy and bliss, and so there's no real need for desire or goal or striving for, because even when I was on that earthly journey to kind of learn what bliss was, and to learn that I'm kind of an embodiment of soul no matter what, and so every moment is blissfulness. And I actually feel this now completely on the other side in the spirit realm, where I exist in bliss in 5 dimensions and beyond time and beyond space, and I still have relationships with other people or spirit beings now. People take different shapes and forms. They are younger or sometimes older. They can change. They can be whatever they want in a moment. I can see them. I can feel them. It's like we had 5 senses, but now it's like imagining that they're all combined. If I could describe it from what it might be like from Earth, but all of our senses are combined. Plus we have new senses and intuition. Everything is tied to intuition, and everything is tied to spirit. So being able to smell the color blue makes so much more sense now, and to actually see a sound, or to even see a sound as it travels forever and ever. So those things are incredible. And just to know that like there's an earthly existence, and I feel like I went there to experience struggle and to experience life as struggle at some point, so that I could open up the heart and in that space, in that realm, in the realm of the earth where I lived, and even to open people up to other planetary and universal symbols that were there in 3D that don't make much sense here anymore. But for there, it was kind of a preparation for people to be more spirit and to be more loving, because that's what this feeling of being spirit and body is love. It's all love, and love in 5 dimensions, love and scent and smell and touch, if that's an earthly thing, and intuition and time and space. Time and space is love. So so it's fun. I can do whatever. I can entertain myself 500 ways at a time. I can play golf, which I never did in the spirit world. I couldn't play cribbage with someone else. So we can instill and engage in these fun things that we did as an earthly thing. It's kind of like going back to your childhood when you go and play with Legos again. You have that and you get in touch with it, and sometimes there's still a little nostalgia. So that's why a lot of times we want to go back and say, oh, I would really love to go back and see what happens this time, and release this non-time space dimension for a little while and go back, and because we do have memory, and that's what that little playground is for. It's like our infancy for spirit. And when we're infants, we know that we're connected still. But yeah, we've been talking about these things like, it's like Legos. We play Legos again when we think about going back. That was fast.
Yeah.
It went.
Speaking of time not being a thing.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, cool. Wow. Do you want to talk about how that felt?
It felt a little more natural than I thought it would.
Yeah.
So,
Hello. Hello, spirit.
hello. Yeah, and so it did. It felt really natural. I felt like I could, yeah, maybe it's just something that's been on my mind and that's wanting to come out, and that's why I had the idea. But it felt, and 5 minutes felt like two.
Wow.
But yeah, so when you're talking about these universal concepts, time and space being irrelevant, that's probably why. Imagine spirits Kylegoing, about, oh, there's a realm after us that's 25 dimensions in length, width, height, intuition having 25 levels as we ascend farther and farther. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I think you would really find the Divine Truth videos fascinating. There's a lot of talking about the spirit world.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Fun. All right, you get to go.
Okay. Wow. Great idea. Okay, so I took a little trip into the spirit world, a conscious one, and I found that, just as you did, that the senses expanded. There were more than 5 senses, and they are more acute, and it's all I have to do is feel a desire or a question or a desire to know something, say, and someone appears to assist me in learning the answer. They don't necessarily tell me the answer. They kind of just, well, here's the way that you can go find out. And it's your choice to go down that path or not. But if my desire is strong, I just automatically am there. It's like a teleporting existence. So things cause and effect becomes more obvious. And so my confidence of, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to see exactly the result of it. It's more immediate. So whereas on Earth, you don't always get to see the results of your actions because everything's more dense in that physical realm. And that coming back to Earth, bringing my spirit back to my body, around my body, however it exists, I haven't figured that out yet. Now I can do that more effectively in the physical world. And the result of that have been really quite phenomenal. And people are starting to go, what's going on? How do you do this? And it started with really sending my spirit and soul, while I was consciously in my physical body, sending my spirit and soul out to do some tasks before I took action in the physical world. And yeah, there were several days, sometimes weeks, that would go by, but a result would come back, and I had a better understanding. Like I had that other sense follow me back into my body that can sort of follow the thread of this action led to this, to this, to this, and that was the result. And that's been really fun. That's like a whole different way of living than what I was doing before, or what I was believing before. And that became the thing that in the spirit world, I just really started to investigate. And so in the spirit world, I'm also surrounded by, it's that law of attraction thing. I'm surrounded by people who are of a similar condition, interests, desires, passions. And so there's a lot of collaboration, and there's not so much competition. So we're all working together to find out the same answers and help each other with if someone else knows more than I do, or they've been there longer, they can just show me how things work, and it speeds up my progression in understanding. And I am learning how to bring that back into the physical realm and put it into a form that people, which I understand, if you haven't experienced it, you can't believe it's real. And so I'm learning how to put it into a form where other people can try it out and experiment with it and find their own evidence that this really is how we can all do things. And it's like a movement, and it's growing, and the wave is increasing, and that makes me happy.
Wow. How does that feel for you?
Yeah. It doesn't feel concrete, but it did go fairly quickly also for me. Yeah, it doesn't feel concrete, but like more like an open door.
I like how you chose a little different journey to the spirit realm than I did.
Mm-hmm.
A totally different perspective. I love that.
Yeah, this will be fun to listen to again.
Yeah. And it gave me tons of ideas for supercharging. So,
right.
Yeah. Oh, fun.
Yeah.
All right. So should we supercharge with a lot of that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to supercharge first, or do you want me to supercharge? I feel like I want to get this out, so I'm going to do this.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. All right.
Let's see. It's actually on. I did a repeat. It's on 3.5 minutes. So that's
good enough. Good enough. Well, I just want to acknowledge that Rita has been coming into the spirit world for quite a while, and because I'm in spirit body, I can like hop back in time, and I can hop into the future a lot. And so I see Rita, now in my spirit world visions, because I can just sort of like find a timeline, and like looks like you pluck a string, and I find a timeline, and I see a time where Rita's coming back in actually the spirit world while I was like living, and it's so much fun because Rita may not know this right now in the spirit world, but when she comes in and out, this is part of her projecting the future. We as spirits actually create our future and the past from the future. It's very hard to say that, but Rita is exploring the archetype that is so ancient, called Ellen of the Ways. And me being a Celtic spirit, Ellen of the Ways is an antlered being who stands at the path saying, here's a path before you. You can choose it or you cannot choose it. And it's almost as if she is an embodiment of the Ellen of the Ways spirit coming back into her body and then coming back into spirit. And she isn't aware of this right now, but but when she goes into that spirit world, that she will kind of be that portion of Ellen of the Ways, where she helps people and herself in the past during her life existence to see the path before her and choose it as a sacred path, or choose her own, because all paths are sacred and the free will is a path. And just as me in my old body talking about trees seeing me, I embody those trees from the future, from the spirit world, as touching a thread to see myself in the future as a spirit. This is what Rita is exercising right now. She is seeing herself through her dreams and through her travels as spirit, yet it's coming from a future spirit. No matter what she thinks in that path is always there. She is embodying Ellen of the Ways, this antlered cosmic archetypal being that has permeated so many cultures. And she is showing her path for herself, to show the path for others on earth, showing the path for others who travel to the spirit world. And I have to speak to Rita and not you right now, because Rita is a construct. And so I feel like now I'm talking about Rita, even though I'm speaking to you. Rita is the spirit construct, and the power of your being is that you go beyond that time and space, and you are inhabiting, from my perspective, you are inhabiting the Maid Mother Crone, Ellen of the Ways, the spirit of the shifting moon, as people travel throughout. And it's evident on this side, but it's so wonderful to see the past that you've created and the past that you're affecting as a spirit from this larger realm where I can see you.
Nice. Good. I like it.
That's a little supercharged from the spirit world.
Woo! I'm going to have to listen to that.
Fun.
Pause it, I think, because I think you were saying things that maybe you don't even understand at this point.
Maybe.
Yeah. I certainly didn't. Not yet. I feel it sinking in, but like I was going, wait, what did he say? What did that mean? Hold on. So that was cool.
Yeah, it was actually fun. I kind of like stepped into that spirit embodiment to sort of like see what I would see from that point of view, from that, from what you had said about your spiritual journey.
Yeah. Nice.
And those things hit me when you were speaking. Those things really hit me when you were speaking. So I had to get that out.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Let me set it again. And then I will supercharge your spirit adventure. Okay. So, Scott, I had the pleasure of Scott's future spirit existence coming to visit me while still on Earth. And Scott had that pleasure of meeting his own future spirit existence while he was still on Earth. And from there, Scott's understanding of how the universe works, how he works, how other people work, just expanded exponentially. And he started living in both places simultaneously. And like I'm talking to Scott now, but I'm saying third person, he, back and forth. So not only could he talk to me and expand my understanding of how the universe works and see things from a higher vantage point than I was seeing things in my earthly existence, he could go and and experience that spirit world existence and advise himself from that beautiful, higher, more loving vantage point. And not only could he, could you go into the spirit world and find out how things work there, you could bring them back and affect your future, past, present, and do it consciously. And it just, we have this thing on earth where we think that people who are believing in spirit stuff are kind of out there and flighty and living not in the real world. But your experience was that as you expanded yourself into the spirit world, you became more grounded on earth. Like you felt yourself rooting in and mingling with the tree roots. And that's part of how they see you, is your energy mingles with their energy in the rooted part of the earth, and you're both being fed by that earth energy and the nutrients in the soil and the positive and negative ions and everything that we don't necessarily always understand, but it's always affecting us on earth. And so you were able to do that consciously, and that affected your work, your interactions with everyone else on earth and in the spirit world. You had mentors in the spirit world, and you were beginning to communicate with them back and forth. Go visit them, come back to earth, and communicate, have an ongoing conversation there or here, it didn't matter. So
Fun.
yeah.
Wow. This opens up some weird, strange new doors. I like it.
I do too.
Yeah. Oh, we can just spend like months Kylegoing spirit future.
Right.
But yeah, and maybe some people do. Maybe that's what they do already with Kyle Cease's group. I hope they do. This is like fun. But fun. Yeah, it's just all sorts of different concepts coming through just about that. And I thought about like youth and longevity and how like we can present and bring that consciously to earth through the future, but yet through the past. And yeah, how we embody ourselves today can be just a reflection of spirit. It's very interesting. It's hard to put in words. I'll have to watch this.
Yeah.
And listen.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I said now that I'm.
Yeah, it's like a dream. It goes away. That's very interesting. Even like I can't necessarily remember all the things that I said in those 5 minutes that went by so fast. Yeah, it's very much like coming back from a dream to like trying to recall it. I'm glad we videotaped it. Maybe the tape will be different. I don't know if you ever believe in those things about how we affect matter and reality, and the whole Schrodinger's cat. You open up the box and is the cat there or not, or did we create it?
Right. Yeah.
So.
Well, I tried an experiment yesterday along these lines. There's an organization called Oil Painters of America, and I became a signature member in 2003. So that was 15 years ago. But in the recent years, like when everything went digital, I couldn't get my work accepted into the shows, very rarely. And so I kind of just, why enter them? But yesterday, I decided to retroactively infuse this painting I have with love and send my soul and the soul of this painting to the judges who in the future will see it and hold up their yes or no flag as they're flipping through images to say who gets into the show. and that they're going to hold up their yes flag. And because they're going to feel good, it's going to come on the screen and they're just going to go, oh, and just feel that relax. And yes. So I'm going to see the result of that. See if that is something that can affect things.
Yes, that's great. And we never know what we've done in the past that can affect now. That really, so how you joined that a long time ago, 15 years ago, and then, yeah.
Oops,
Oh, more timers. That sounds fun. Just to, and then project a feeling and sense of love into a painting and to your work to affect others in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So
and I don't have to paint another one today in order to do that. I can do it with, all of these, I don't even know, hundreds of them in my studio right now.
wow, what if you were to travel and send love to the future owner of all 100 paintings, and to get visual images of the people who love your painting and just to send them love through the painting right now so that they would receive that.
Right. Right.
What, and just even that story of you sending love. I send love to all my paintings for their future owners. If you were to put that out, even just that sentence, and the people knew that, maybe they would even feel love just to say, wow, I know that she sent love to this, and so I feel that already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's,
I've thought of that, but I felt like I really needed to be able to feel it as true. And
yeah.
and it's getting more real now.
Wow. And maybe even bring that future spirit back into those. And this could be a message from a future spirit of you saying, oh, I remember back in 2018 when Rita started doing this, and I came back and pulled the thread for that.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be your future self coming back and pulling the thread for that image and for that idea.
Yeah, right. And I imagine people who have already bought painting, there are hundreds out there, and them like Googling me and suddenly showing up to tell me how they feel when they still 20 years later look at my painting.
Hmm.
That would be cool.
Yeah, if we could tap into, because it's art, but if everything is just a manifestation of love and people feel that love, how can that be, a manipulation to get someone to purchase a painting? There's something there that just feeds them. It's like a love, it's your snapshot that was infused, and so it's much more than a painting. Then it's more than that. It's a just an infused window.
And it's an acceptance of what God made me to be. Whether it's a painting or a story or a conversation or, in your case, a website. Imagine the websites you design, everybody who looks at them just has a feeling of love or peace or whatever you put into it. That's a big deal.
I would love that. I think you're right. How would that manifest for me? And if I just open that up, yeah, actually, like a few of my sites, I've really done that. I feel like I've really done that, and they've kind of come about that way. But it's a good idea. It's a really, yeah. Today's kind of mind blowing and mind boggling. Hard to form the words.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is so much more interesting to me than manifesting clients or something like that.
I agree. That seems so surface. It's so okay, that's the baby pool over there. You can go and manifest clients and
get some money.
Yeah, attract find your purpose and attract clients and do all that fun little, baby pool work. That's kind of what it feels like right now.
Yeah. Right.
Mm.
Oh, thank you for being willing to do this.
Yeah, it's actually great. I look forward to these Fridays to do